Hi, and welcome to Girl Talk. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're sitting here with Eva, Stephanie, Marina, and Sandra. And today we want to cover an important issue that relates more to kind of working women, but it starts with you at this age. And it's basically about money management and finances. And I know this might be a little ahead of your time, but it really stems from the decisions you decide to make today. So how many have worked in their life? Okay, so 2 out of 4. For those that work, just tell me a little bit about your job experience.
I like it. I think it's fun. It's like a new experience where I get to meet new people, try new things, and I like all the employee discounts and stuff.
Do you want to share where you work?
Oh, I work at Dunkin' Donuts, so I have to create everything. It's good coffee, so buy from Dunkin' Donuts.
It's good advertisement for you right there.
I used to work at a 99-cent store, just
I love
cashing. Yeah, just like retail, and it was rough. Like, it was very tiring. It was very long, the days, very heavy bags, very rude customers, just very minimum wage. It was just very bad. And I was very young. I was like 14, 13. It was like...
And you just didn't want to work again after that experience?
I mean, the best feeling was when I just got my first paycheck, and then I went to the mall immediately after.
See, that's exactly what we want to talk about today, is what we're doing with that check right after. And even if we're not getting a check, right, at the moment, what we're doing with the allowances that we do get. So do you think that the decisions you make today with your finances and your money have consequences in the future?
I would say yes and no. I'd say yes, because if you don't learn how to manage your money when you're younger, you're not going to be able to manage, like, when you actually start getting more money and, like, spend it on more useful things. And no, because maybe you might be taking advantage of it, like now, because it's not your money. It's kind of like your parents' money, but when it's your own money that you worked for, maybe you might, like...
You're not going to be as lenient.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that too. Like, if it was I worked for that money, it wasn't my parents' money, I would definitely treat it different than if it was my parents' money, because I worked for that money, and I'm going to be very wise in what I, like, spend with that money. So, like, other than my parents' money, where I just, like, ask and it's given, and I'll just, whatever, it's, like, no big deal.
The money grows on trees, so you just got to spend it.
I actually feel like the opposite, because I know when I get my paycheck, I don't have responsibilities, so all I have is to worry about myself. Like, my mom and dad provide me shelter and food and clothing. Well, not clothing anymore. So that's basically where all my money goes to, like, clothing and, like, shoes and stuff. But since I have no responsibilities, I feel like I have more money to spend on things for myself, to just luxury stuff. But I don't think that's gonna... It might affect later, but I don't think that much, because later on you'll have, like, responsibilities. You'll probably, like, move out of the house, have to pay for an apartment, and, like, you'll have other things to spend your money on, and you'll have more money to spend it with.
Okay, but do you think the fact that you're not, I mean, I completely understand that you don't have the responsibilities now, but do you think that you're going to be able to manage the responsibilities when they come if you don't kind of put boundaries now?
I don't know, like,
That goes along with what Sandra was saying earlier.
I guess it will affect, but everything takes time getting used to it, so, like, it's not like you can't learn to manage your money later.
Okay.
When you do have responsibilities.
Do you think it'll be harder?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. What do you guys think?
Even with my parents' money, like, I'm just not going to, like, spend it on, like, unnecessary things just to spend. Like, I definitely still feel like that's a waste, or, like, you know, why would I just waste money on, like, I don't really need that, but I just want to spend, like, it's not like that. Like, so I think that just because it's not, well, for me, because I don't work, just because it's not my money and it's my parents' money, that, but when I get a job in the future, that, like, I think I'll be wise with my money. Like, I'm not going to just go crazy with it.
Okay. So, Steph, I mean, you dealt with rude customers and long hours and heavy bags, but you're like, when I got my first paycheck, I went to the mall. So, like, tell me about that.
Well, I was young, so I kind of thought, like, even though I worked, like, those hours, I still had that, like, that thought that, I don't know, that kind of, like, money grows on trees sort of, like, thing. But, yeah, I didn't really spend much of my money. I still, like, I feel more comfortable, like, spending my parents' money. But
I think it also depends on like how much you make or how much money you have. Like if it's my parents' money, I might have like $50 and go shopping, whatever. But like me personally, like I hate shopping. Like I don't have patience for it. But maybe if I have like 200 instead of like 50, then like there's more like I can go crazy.
Oh, like even with birthday money, like I had like $300 on like like combined whatever from the presents or whatever. Like I'm so like I can't, like it's saved, like I can't, but I would put it on the side and ask for my parents' money because like I didn't even work for that money, but it's my birthday money and I'm gonna only spend on something that's really like, yeah, like my parents' money is like for something that's not that important.
So it's kind of a variation that, you know, maybe in the future I will take my responsibilities more seriously as opposed to me not really having them now. Or I take the money I have now very seriously, and I probably will later. But do you think that the spending that you guys do now will affect your spending habits later? Like, I understand that, you know, you're going to be watchful with your money, but are you going to be so career-driven to always want the money? And you don't have to tell me, like, your specific, you know, like rules and regulations on yourself, but do you think that that kind of fuels the money-hungry people when they get older? Like, I'm spending now, and I have my my Tory bag and Tory shoes, and I have the Prada bag and the, you know, everything else that comes out, and the Michael Kors watch, right? And I have all these things. And it all requires a lot of money. Later on, I'm going to want the same standard of living that I'm living now, right? When I'm 16, I have Tory shoes. I'm so sure when I get a job, I'm not going to have that plus more.
I actually agree with that. Like, starting to think about my future because of my age, I'm really thinking like where I can put myself so that I can live like a luxurious life that, you know, thank God, like my parents have been able to provide for me. So, like, fortunate, like I live like I can say like thank God, like a nice life. And I really want, you know, that to provide for myself. So I do agree, like I do look for that.
I think something good that like might be like help you like control like how much you spend and all that stuff. I think from like your first paycheck or something like that, like you're supposed to give 10% to charity. So I think by doing that, like
we don't say charity, we say to God.
Oh, to God. But like by doing that, like you're like helping others, I guess, and you're also like helping yourself like realize like just be thankful for what you have because some don't have any at all. So don't take advantage of what you have.
I'll share one thing that that I was taught is that any money that we receive isn't anything that we earned, right? We worked for it and carried the bags and at the 99-cent store, and we worked really hard and for hours and hours. But any money or any prestige or any promotion that we get is not from us. We did nothing to attain it, right? If we are, you know, elevated, it's because God put us in our boss's eyes, and he found favor in us, right? And this is all blessings that we've gotten. It's not anything, again, that we attained ourselves. And so any check that we get, we can't spend very loosely, right? Because there are people out there that don't have it, okay? And we were just lucky enough to be blessed with families that can provide for us. And so if we were to just take that check and, you know, spend it on one pair of shoes, I mean, again, we all live different standard of livings. If that's what makes you happy and that's what you choose to do, no one's saying that that's wrong, you know? But all we're saying is to put things into perspective. is to remember that there are people who aren't as blessed and that don't have. And so maybe 10% isn't enough. Maybe we should give more, you know, and that we did nothing of ourselves, that everything is still a blessing. And so we can't take that blessing for granted.
And be wise with your money.
And yeah, and be wise with your money. And like, again, we live a good standard of living, but at the same time, the Bible calls us to not serve two masters, right? You're going to serve God, or you're going to serve mammon, which is money, right? And be career-driven and do well in your careers. But at the end of the day, it's not the check that's important. It's what you do with it. It's the people that you help. You guys agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you again for joining us, and thank you at home for joining us. Again, until our next episode of Girl Talk.